synonym or vocabulary question. Anything vocabulary has to do with words. This tests the number of words you know and can make use of them in the right context. So, example of synonym or vocabulary question is, in the sentence, the boy exhibited exemplary behavior. What does exemplary mean? So, you have to consider the sentence in context. Context means situation. We have different situations we can use different words in. So you have to consider the situation before you get the right meaning of a word. So when you have a question like that, it is known as vocabulary question. All you need to do is to look at the sentence in context. Then if unsure, substitute each option into the sentence to see what makes sense. Just replace the options you have in that same sentence in place of that word that is given and see if the sentence will make sense. Again, eliminate words with opposite meanings. Alright, so another type of question we should consider is antonym question. I want to believe we know that antonym means opposite in meaning. Alright, so a typical example of question is, what is the opposite of diligent as used in the passage? So all you need to do is to look at the options and then go back to the passage to where you have the word diligent. Then when you identify the word from the passage, look for contrast words like however or but that indicates an opposite meaning. That's what you need to pay attention to in order to decipher what the opposite of that word is. So you have to look at the sentence. So you are not just considering a single word. You are considering the statement you have the word and know the meaning of the word in context and also what could be the opposite of that word. So also ensure you eliminate synonyms of the word in question. That is, the options that are synonymous to that given. Ensure you eliminate them and take the one that is opposite in meaning to the word. Again, let's consider reference or pronoun question. Sometimes we have reference or pronoun questions under comprehension passage questions. Why do we use reference with pronoun? Let's begin from there. A pronoun, according to definition, is a word used in place of a noun, meaning that any noun must have its referent or antecedent. That is, any pronoun rather must have a referent or antecedent. That is, a noun that it refers back to. For instance, we have a question like, what does the pronoun it in line 12 refer to? When you have a word like this, you have to consider the previous statements before line 12 or the subsequent statements that indicates what it refers to before you can answer this question accurately. So the approach to this question is to go back to the sentence and read before and after the pronoun. Again, identify the noun that matches the pronoun in number. For instance, you have the word eat, and then you have tables. Tables cannot be the antecedent for it, because it is singular and can only replace a singular noun. So if it is table, a singular noun, it can refer to it. So ensure you don't only identify the noun, but consider the number in the noun. Does it correspond with the number you have in the pronoun before you arrive at your answer? Please take note of these questions. They are very important. Let's also consider cause and effect question. Some questions, as long as use of English comprehension passage is concerned, are looking for reasons or the aftermath or outcome of something. For instance, according to the passage, what is the effect of deforestation? So here, what are we looking for? The result of deforestation. If we have deforestation, what will result from it? So you have to consider the passage carefully. Identify words like because, leads to, results in, or therefore, as a result in the passage. When you see words or expressions like that, they will enable you to identify the reason stated for deforestation or the outcome, the aftermath of deforestation. So the correct answer should directly follow the cause stated. Again, let's consider facts versus opinion question. Fact versus opinion question. Question that looks for facts, the truth, or the opinion of the writer. So, example of such question is, which of the following statements is an opinion? So you can have something like, the sun rises in the east. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius. Reading is the best hobby. Nigeria is in Africa. So, which among these is a fact? So, to approach question like this, you have to understand that facts can be verified. Opinions express beliefs, judgments, or preference. So understand what fact is first. Then look for words like should, based, worst, or beliefs, because those are the keywords that will suggest a fact. So those are the indicators of opinions. Again, we have summary question. For example, what is the best summary of the passage? We have options like a detailed explanation of one minor point. Another one, a brief for complete overview of the passage. C, a complete different topic. D, a personal opinion on the topic. So, to approach a question like this, avoid options that focus only on the small detail. Then the summary should capture the essence of the passage. Eliminate also extreme, off-topic, or opinion-based options. So it must be based on the passage. So for you to understand and answer comprehension passage questions accurately, you must understand the different types of questions and the right approach to them. So finally, I would like to say when you are giving questions on comprehension passage, do well to go through the question first and then read the passage. Take note of the first sentence in each paragraph, because the first sentence is mostly the topic sentence. That is the sentence that will carry the major point, which will be buttressed by the other sentences known as supporting sentences. So if you read the first sentence, pay attention to it, and also the concluding sentence in that particular paragraph, because the concluding sentence is going to summarize whatever was initiated by the first sentence, which is the topic sentence. So if you consider it that way, from the first paragraph to the last paragraph, and also put the whole thing into consideration, you'll be able to come up with the theme of the passage and know what to say and how to answer your question accurately. I want to believe you've learned something from this video. Do well to share this video to reach others who are in need of tutorials like this. I remain Teacher Dixon.